Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of GyalDem City featuring myself, Yannicka and Rose. Today we're going to just recap the Brighton Premier League game that was in the midweek, and we're going to look at a prediction for the Crystal Palace game at the weekend. Tomorrow actually. So Rose, Brighton, how did you think the Brighton game went?
I thought we were okay against Brighton. I mean, I thought we started off quite slow, but after around 10 minutes, we did kind of grow into the match. And we started to create a few chances. I mean, I think Gundogan had a really good chance in the first half. I think he created one actually. He just needed someone to get in the end of it. Mahrez had a good chance, and then obviously De Bruyne had that free kick opportunity. But it was just looking like one of them days where we weren't going to get that goal. I mean, we were trying, but the goal wasn't coming. But I must say that Brighton had a really good defensive shape, and they were quite difficult for us to break down. But what I do like about City is we are quite patient, and we're going to keep going. And eventually we did get that goal. I think Foden scored in the 44th minute, so yeah, just before half time, so that was good. But I felt like in the second half it was a bit more of the same. We were creating chances, but it was like we weren't getting that goal. And I felt like in the second half Brighton did create a few more chances as well. It was just a situation where in the final third they just weren't really doing much, so we were quite lucky in that aspect as well. But yeah, we kept going, and Sterling, he got that penalty, which is a shame that he didn't score. I don't want to go into that. But overall, we were all right. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the first half was kind of like you say, just knocking on the door and just not really getting what we needed. I think we needed a goal in the first half. I think if we'd have gone into the second half, it would have got harder for us. And I think that goal would have been more difficult to get. So yeah, Foden obviously stepped up. I love Foden. Obviously we both do. But the fact that I quite like the fact that he was the match winner. But obviously I like, and I'm sure you're the same, you like that 2-goal cushion where it's a bit like you can relax a little bit, because these end-to-end games are fantastic for a neutral fan. But as a City fan or a Brighton fan, well, maybe for a Brighton fan more so, but maybe they want to see that. But as a City fan, I do not want to see that. I want to see us just like run away with the game. But yeah, it was a good game. I like the way Brighton play. They come to play football. They don't try any of that part of the bus. Obviously, defensively, they were really good. So we have to credit them for that. But I also think City this season just haven't been clinical enough. So it's like, it's one of them things where I just feel like last season, De Bruyne would have been putting away these chances that he's not putting away this season. Obviously, we don't really need him to score goals. We need him to assist. But just when everyone else is not scoring, it's kind of, you could do with maybe De Bruyne putting 1 or 2 of these chances away. But yeah, we're not clinical enough this season, I don't think, as good as we're doing in terms of our form at the moment. I think we have the best form in the league, actually, in terms of our last 5 games or whatever. So, yeah, I think we're doing all right. I love the fact that we can keep a clean sheet, because it used to be if we didn't get 2 goals, we weren't winning. So, it's really, I'm happy about that. Obviously, the Diaz effect, we can call it. But, yeah, I'm happy with that. I thought Stones played really well as well. So, yeah, it's one of them things. I just think the goals will come. Obviously, Raheem. I didn't know that Raheem had missed the last 3 penalties. Like, I didn't know that. So I thought he was like one of them where he might have missed 1 or 2, but he's missed 3. Well, he's missed 3 in a row now. So I don't understand why he took it, personally. I think we've got Gundogan there. He's German. He's missed 1 penalty in his career. He's scored 9. I think De Bruyne has scored 8 and missed 2. Yeah. Something like that. So, yeah, I think we had better penalty takers in our team than Sterling. And I don't know whether he thought in that sort of game where although we were only 1-0 up, we were a little bit comfortable in the fact that the players would have thought we're going to win, you know, even though the fans not so much. So maybe he thought, if I score in this, then I'll get my confidence back and I can, you know, I don't know. Maybe that was the thought process behind it, but I'm not sure he should have been the one to take it personally. But yeah, I think we did okay. Obviously, right now, we just got to take the 3 points.
Yeah.
We're not the only team that have grinded out a win where we weren't at our best. So, you know, we just need to keep it going. So we'll move on now to Crystal Palace. So, historically, we used to do all right against Crystal Palace, but the past couple of years, I'm not sure what the score was last season, but I know they've beaten us a few times at the Etihad.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
I think it's going to be one of them games that are going to be quite difficult for us. A lot of people are saying, yeah, it's only Crystal Palace. City should just get 3 points, but it's not going to be nothing. I think Palace are going to come to the Etihad. You know, I think they beat us last season. I think it was last season. I think they beat us. No, the season before they beat us 3-2. And then we drew at the Etihad 2-2. So we haven't beaten them in the last 2 seasons. So I think they're going to come to the Etihad and, you know, sit back, soak up the pressure, and then obviously take the opportunity. They'll probably hit us in a counter attack. That's what I think is going to happen. I think the likes of Zaha, Eze, and I think they have Zaha and Eze. They're not just going to just sit back. They're going to be the ones that are going to come and try and hit us in a counter attack. And I just feel like after they lost 0 to Liverpool, I can't see them like making that same mistake against us. So I just feel like they're going to be quite defensive against us, and it's going to be one of them really difficult games for us. So I just hope we're ready for that type of match.
Yeah, I think they're better away than they are at home as well, which isn't great. Obviously, Eze is a player. Zaha has always been talented. So, yeah, I think it's definitely, when I saw the fixtures and people were saying you've got 6 winnable fixtures coming up, yes. And I've said that the harder games were at home. So your Villa, Palace and Brighton, they were the harder games out of the 6, and they're at home. So I'm hoping, because we're at home, we should win. But like I said, like you said, and like I said, we haven't done that well against Palace recently. I'm just hoping that now our defence is a little bit better, we're not going to go and concede 2 or 3 goals. So hopefully going forward, we're clinical. And then, you know, even if we concede 1, it's not more than that, you know. But I think it is going to be, that's the game that I've been worrying about, to be honest, because with Brighton, even though Brighton are a good side, and they've had an all right season, I suppose, despite the points that they've got, I think they've been doing okay. And I think it's interesting because with Brighton, even though that game might be harder on paper than Crystal Palace, that's the game that I'm scared of, the Palace game, because I just know they just have the players that can, you know, that can punish Man City. So I'm hoping that we can get a win. A draw is 2 points dropped at this point, especially with the way the league's going. Regardless of what happens with Man United and Liverpool, I think we need to be getting 3 points. So hopefully we can win. I know Pep, for the Chelsea game, played De Bruyne as a false 9. He kind of started a similar team against Brighton to what he played against Chelsea, put Bernardo Silva back in. Who do you think he will start tomorrow?
I think he's going to start Cancelo. I think he's going to start Ruben Diaz and Stones. Don't know if he's going to go. I think he might go Zinchenko again. Because to be fair, they have been sort of defensively. I think he's going to go with Edison in goal as well. But midfield, De Bruyne obviously. But then I don't know if he's going to go with Foden or he might not play Foden. I'm not sure about that, but I do expect him to obviously start Rodri and then probably Gundogan as well. And then I think he'll go with Mahrez again. But yeah, I don't. For some reason, I thought he's going to change it. He might put Jesus back in there.
Yeah.
Do you know? You just don't know. You don't know, and
I know.
if I'm going to start after what happened in the last match, like I don't know. It's a tough one. Yeah, I can't actually tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I don't know either. I think the only definites are John Stones and Diaz and De Bruyne. Obviously, they're the three that you know. I think obviously Edison will come back in. I know Corona kind of knocks it out of you, so it might be that he was okay the other day, but he's tired. Like, we don't really know, so we'll have to wait and see. It was interesting to see where he played Gabby, because he didn't play him as a striker. So I don't know whether he's going to run with that and try it again. I don't know. He does hold the ball up well, and I think when you're winning 1-0, I don't think he had the best game against Brighton, but maybe that's just because he's coming back from Corona and he's not 100% himself. But yeah, I think it's one of them things where it's like, I think you never know with Pep, like you say, but I think he will kind of go. I like the fact that it's kind of, because it's working, he's not really changing it. I quite like that, because he used to kind of change it around regardless. You know, when his favourites were back, he'd put them straight in. The fact that he dropped Sterling was quite a different thing, because he plays the most minutes under Pep. So yeah, we'll see. I think Sterling will be back in the lineup. I don't think he'd get dropped again, regardless of what happened. I think the way Pep sees things is, because he's missed the penalty, he won't want his confidence to drop. So I think he'll put him back in to kind of prove himself against Palace. I think, if I remember correctly, he's not got that better record against Palace, but I might be wrong. My mind's just gone blank. But yeah, I would play him. I would play Bernardo Silva. I think he brings something a little bit more attacking to our squad. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't really know what he's going to do, but I think the only thing that I think he might do is he might bring Walker back if he's ready, because he likes Walker, and then flip Cancelo. But I think Walker should come in. I don't think he should just walk back into the right back position, because even though Cancelo can play on the left, Cancelo is a right back and he's doing well. So I don't think it should be changed. I don't know if Walker is any good at left back. I don't know. But if he can play there, I think he should play there, and Cancelo should play where he's been playing, which is his natural position. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, you never know with Pep. I'm hoping that we win. But we'll just have to see. I don't feel like Foden will play, just because he played the other day. I think he'll switch up a little bit, but we'll have to see. So let us know in the comments, guys, what the predictions are. Before we go to ours, I'll just go to some of the comments. So Conrad, big up to Conrad, says, big up Jan and Rose. Hopefully we draw or win tomorrow. That's about Man United. A draw would be good. Conrad says, Brighton missed Bazuma.
Okay.
They had that South African guy, Tao, whatever he's called. But apparently, like, his fans are like Mahrez's fans, like the South Africans. And like, I noticed under Brighton put out the team sheet, and it had all the people in the comments like, oh yeah, you're playing the best player in the league. And I was just like, what? Like, not even heard of this guy, but like they're very much like Mahrez's fans, where they're just on it. And if he doesn't start, they're like, it's crazy how they have these fan bases.
Yeah, they
and
do.
It just makes you like this. I think that's why Mahrez is disliked at City. I don't actually think it's about him. I think it's his fan base, because every time it's like player of the month, and he plays one game and scores one goal, and he'll get player of the month. Yeah. And it's like, because all their fans have voted, and it's like, he's not the player of the month. Like, it's mad. It's mad. Like, I don't mind. I think the last time he won it, I think he got a hat trick. So it kind of was like, okay, cool, fine. But yeah, it's just he doesn't deserve it every time he gets it, and it's because their fans are just like crazy.
Their fans will come after you if you just criticize.
Yeah. Like, it's like the savior for their country. It's mad. But I suppose on an international level, he's fantastic for them. But okay, Danish. Okay, we'll do predictions first. So what do you think the score will be tomorrow?
I think because we haven't won in the last 2 matches at home against them, I think maybe third time lucky. I'm gonna go for, I don't want to say 1-0 because that's gonna give me a heart attack.
Well, nah, I can't deal with that.
But I have a feeling it's gonna be like a 1-0. But we just have to keep Zaha quiet, him especially, and the likes of Eze and Townsend. They've just got to be kept quiet. I don't know. I feel like they might score. I'm going to go over 2-1. I'm going to go over 2-1 just to be safe because I feel like they get a chance.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we'll win it heavily. I think they're better away from home. I did see the game against Tottenham. I'm sure they equalised late on, or they held on to a 1-1, I think it was. So, yeah, I think it's going to be difficult, but I'm hoping that we can edge it. I'd like us to go 2-0 up, even if they do score, because it's just a little bit more comfortable. But, yeah, I think hopefully 2-1. But right now, as long as we get 3 points, I don't care. Even if it's a 1-0 end of the game offside goal that gets given, like, no, we just need it, especially this weekend more than ever. Because I think if we win this weekend, it really puts the pressure on at the top. Whereas if we lose and Man United win, obviously Man United go a little bit clearer of us. Liverpool, actually, if they lose 2-0 Liverpool, and obviously Man United would win and go 6 points clear of them. And yeah, if Leicester and Everton, no, it's not, they're not even playing this weekend, but Leicester and Everton play soon. So Liverpool could find themselves further down the table, especially if Leicester and Everton win. Like there's quite a few teams that are breathing down their neck at the moment. So they kind of have to win, probably more so than Man United. So we'll see what happens with their game. But yeah, I think we definitely need the 3 points this week. Danish says, one United player you would take in your team. I would take Mahrez, would be class on our right hand side. Do you know what? It's interesting that you say that, because I always say that I don't think we play to Mahrez's strengths. And Mahrez is such a fantastic player. In another team, he's doing what he did at Leicester, dominating games, you know, but his first touch is unreal. The way he brings it down, and it's just like no effort whatsoever. So yeah, I think Mahrez is wasted a little bit at City. You know, as much as I like him, I just think he would be better at another team. So yeah, I'll let you go first. Who's a United player that you would take?
No, it's 3 players. It's for different reasons.
Yeah,
Rashford, because we're struggling, and Rashford's been quite clinical this season. So he would obviously be quite a good fit for us right now.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, because obviously he's just having such a great season. But then again, like, I would still choose De Bruyne over him.
Yeah.
But he would still be a good player to have in your team, like, because he's just so creative himself. And then obviously Fred, because I don't know, like you said before, he does kind of like see himself like a bit of like a Fernandinho, and obviously like it would be nice to have like a Fernandinho replacement. So, but I think based on this season, I would go with Rashford, just because we're just finding it hard to score goals this season. Yeah. What about you?
Well, someone actually asked last night, would I take Pogba? And I was saying that actually before Pogba came to United, I wanted Pogba at City. Because saw him like a Yaya in terms of the presence in the midfield. You know, he's a quality player. I think he's Man United's best midfielder. I don't buy into this Bruno thing. I'm not saying Bruno isn't good, because he is good, but I think some games I watch Bruno and I think,
what is going on?
I'm not so sure. Like, he gets goals and assists, but sometimes the assist is a pass to the side, like a Rodri kind of thing, you know, where it's like, I wouldn't necessarily, if Rodri got a whole heap of assists, I wouldn't be saying he's the best midfielder ever. just because I feel like, I'm not saying he's not quality, because he is a quality player, but I think Pogba is the better player out of the two.
Yeah.
In terms of quality. I just think Pogba at the moment, feeling a little bit pushed out. Obviously, he's doing quite well at the moment, but I think he's obviously not 100% happy at Man United. He said like that as much. So we'll see what happens. I think he might stay because he seems to be all right at the moment. He likes Ollie, so I think he'll stay. But yeah, if he doesn't, I think he's a quality player. I don't think we really need Pogba. I don't think midfield is an area that we really struggle in, but I would have him at City. I agree with you on Rashford. I think Rashford under Pep would be crazy.
Yeah.
And he's young, so I wouldn't mind Rashford. And who else? Yeah, Fred. I like Fred. Fred's another one that I wanted before he went to Man United. So yeah, I quite like Fred. And he looks up to Fernandinho. So them two together would have been a nice little midfield, but didn't happen. So we got Rodri. I don't mind Rodri. He's just kind of, like I always say, does what it says on the tin. Like not fancy, but does his job. So I think he gets a lot of slack for stuff, but it's like just because he's not Fernandinho, he's not going to be Fernandinho. So yeah, I'm hoping that he'll get more aggressive in his game as time goes on. I don't remember Fernandinho being the way he is now when he first came. So I'm hoping that it's something that Rodri kind of picks up and thinks, right, okay, I need to make challenges to cut out counter-attacks and stuff like that, which he doesn't really do so much at the moment. So we'll see. Comrade says, Bruno and Pogba will show Sterling how to score penalties. Yeah, I don't think we practice penalties. There's just no way.
Yeah.
We're awful. Yeah, if you're watching this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're on Periscope, Twitter, jump over to YouTube, like the video, and then you can go back. So yeah, if you're on Twitter, just share the video. We're on the road to 2K at the moment. Ryan, big up to Ryan, says big up Jan and Rose. Strip Bear, she's a Chelsea fan. She says Man United have best firm. I think it might mean team or form, but expect you to win the league. Do you know what? I think at the start of the season, I said City should be winning the league just based on this is before I knew about injuries to Liverpool or anything like that. But I said I thought Liverpool might retain it just because, you know, they under Klopp, they've been great. But then when I saw the injuries to Van Dijk and stuff, I thought City should be winning this league, but we didn't look like we were gonna. And then, yeah, I think we picked up form at the right time. We just need to be consistent. Games like tomorrow will tell me whether we're going to win the league, because I think if we can pick up maximum points in this run, regardless of what the teams around us do, we'll put ourselves in a good position. I think as long as we're still in touching distance with Man United or Liverpool or whoever's up there, going into sort of the end of March, start of April, we've always got a chance. I can't rule City out because they've been there, done that before, but we need to be on their on their necks. We can't be 6 points behind or anything like that. So we'll see. What do you think, Rose? I know at the beginning of the season you were saying you didn't think we'd win it. But now, what do you think?
The way we started, I couldn't see us winning the league. I couldn't see United being top of the league either, because I don't think that. But recently, I think I can only see it being between City and Liverpool. I know United are playing well, but for some reason I feel like they're going to drop off a little bit. That's just my opinion. I don't know what's going to happen. But I feel like what will prevent either City or Liverpool from winning the league is like quite different. So I feel like Liverpool need to sign a centre-back in the January transfer window. They have to if they're going to win the league. And in terms of City, like, we need to be, we need goals.
Yeah.
I saw us against, like I said, I saw us against West Brom. I saw us against Leeds. We just need to be clinical, like we actually do. Even that match where we lost 2-0, like, we weren't even that bad. It's the fact that we just could not score. Like on another day, it could have been 2-2. That's the way that we played, and it's just, yeah. For us, it's goals. For Liverpool, it's defence.
Yeah, it's the opposite, isn't it? Because our defence is good. But going forward, we're struggling, whereas they're not too bad going forward. But then, defensively. Yeah. But I think it's just, we'll have to see. I don't honestly know right now. Like I'm saying, like, I think City should win it based off how it's going. But I don't know. Like, until we sort of get a bit further into the season, I think there will be a point where some teams start breaking away from the others. That's not happened yet. So we'll see. But yeah, it's just, the thing is, everyone's got to play everyone. So, there's teams like Leicester are like, a point behind Liverpool. Everton are a point behind Liverpool. So if they win their games and Liverpool drop points to Man United, it's like they'll go down to like 4th or whatever, or 5th if we win. Like, there's so many different results that can affect how the league table goes. And I think that until we get to that point where 2 teams break away, I think we're going to still have that whole, who's going to win the league? Could it be United? Could it be Liverpool? Could it be? Obviously, Man United are going to want to put 6 points between them and Liverpool tomorrow, which is a good gap to have, because then even if you drop points, you're still top of the league or you're still up there. So they're going to want to do that. I don't think Liverpool can afford to let that happen, because even though I do agree with you, I think it will be Liverpool and Man City in the long run. That's why I'd never want Man United to win. But I think in terms of Liverpool winning, I think long term, that will be a worse result for City. So, yeah, we need a draw. We need a draw badly.
How do you is going to finish? Like, for some reason I feel like it's just going to be like, maybe first place, there might be a gap, like 2 points gap between and then maybe in between second and third, and then it's going to be like maybe an 80-point average season as well.
Going to be low. It's definitely going to be low, because like normally, like I will always say, normally at this stage in the season, we're talking about invincibles. Can people beat Arsenal's invincible record? We're talking about, this team have only drawn 1 game. Like, Liverpool have drawn 6 games. Man City, I think it's something like 5. I think if we draw against Crystal Palace, we have exactly the same record as Liverpool in terms of games lost, games drawn, games won. So it's interesting, because this season has just been one of them where it's different to how it normally goes. And people say it's like a Leicester season, and I agree in some ways, because everyone's kind of beating everyone. But I think also it's kind of like a 13-14 season, I think it was, where it was a title race between Chelsea and Liverpool in February, and everyone was saying Chelsea are going to win it. And then, because obviously Liverpool's team back then wasn't the best. They had Suarez, I think, and Sterling, but it wasn't the best team. And I remember everyone saying Chelsea are going to win it. And then it got to kind of later in the season, and it was a City versus Liverpool title race, and then then City won it. So I think it's interesting, but I just feel like it's one of them seasons, and I feel like City kind of like these kind of seasons where they're not expected to win it, because it takes all the pressure off. City do well under pressure as well. I can't lie. They've been under pressure and they've come out on top. So I think they do okay under pressure. But I think it's just one of them seasons where we're just going to see a whole bunch of different people winning the league. Like, already we've seen Chelsea are going to win it.
Yeah.
Tottenham are going to win it. Liverpool are going to win it. United are going to win it. People are now starting to bring City in it, but we've only just entered the top 4 for the first time. But it's just madness. There's not that many points between first and like 8th. So it's going to be like that all season, I think, until, like I say, hopefully someone breaks away and they go clear. Hopefully that's City.
Yeah.
But it's going to be.
I think it's going to change a bit. Obviously when the Champions League is back.
Yeah.
feel like United, I think they're in Europa League, so they can afford to field like a second team in the
Yeah.
Europa, whereas we can't. And that's where I feel like we're really going to obviously see who's going to be able to cope with, you know, both the league and also the Champions League. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens when, you know, if the Champions League and Europa League are back.
Yeah, I think City, we have the squad to kind of deal with both, but it's a COVID season. So
Yeah.
at any point, De Bruyne could get COVID and he's out for 2 weeks. And, you know, you just don't know. Like, we could, I'm not saying we can't play without De Bruyne. We've won the league without De Bruyne, but I think these sorts of seasons where we're not that clinical going forward, I think we need our best attacking players all playing. So yeah, if certain players in our squad get COVID, we could be in a situation that we don't really want to be in. If Diaz gets it, we're in trouble. Not that John Stones isn't playing well, but it's just, I don't know whether he'd play as well without Diaz. I think their partnership, their little bromance that they've got is great. So yeah, I think we've got to be hopeful that he doesn't get COVID. And if he does get COVID, that he can kind of come back and like quickly and get back into the team, because Edison hasn't been out that long. So hopefully it will be like that if Diaz ever gets it. But yeah, it's not. There's times in the league where if Diaz gets it at that time, we could be out the Champions League, or, you know, we could be losing big games against the big sort of teams around us. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he doesn't get it. But I think that's the same for every team. Every team's going to have times where some of their big players are out to COVID or out to injury. So we'll just have to, hopefully we can breeze through it. And we do have the squad, I think, to cope more so than anyone else. So hopefully that shows throughout the season. But I do agree with you. I think Man United being in the Europa, it's whether they want to go for that. Because if they want to go for it and they play their stronger teams, playing Thursday, Sunday is not ideal. Because say, for example, City do go up there with Man United and we're playing on Saturdays and winning, they're then under a lot of pressure. And I'm not so sure whether this Man United team right now would be able to deal with the pressure or not. We don't know. We haven't really seen it. The only time we've seen them be under a little bit of pressure was in the Champions League, and they went out. Semi-finals, which they've gone out in. So I'm not so sure whether they could deal with the pressure of having to win every single week. So yeah, we'd have to see. They've been doing good so far. They've got a lot of individual brilliance in their squad, and they've been grinding out results even when really they're not at their best. So that is the sign of champions. But I just think the way this season's going, it's a bit of a weird one. So we'll have to see. Monster, big up to him. It says, big up Jan, big up Rose. Talking about, Ryan says he remember. Oh, 1 second. Where's it just jumped? Sorry. It's just jumped to a comment that's way down. He said, I remember the Townsend goal against City when we thought we were going to win the league. That goal got a clap from City fans. That was
It was
a
amazing.
fantastic goal. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever forget that one. That was just, City fans were like, wow, you have to applaud that. What can you do? Danish says, yeah, Bernardo Silva cleared the ball, forced the Townsend, didn't even take a touch, just banged it in top bins. Edison, no chance, goal of the year for me. It was, I think it won goal of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Goal of the season. Abdi's hating on Man City.
Oh, gosh.
Saying Manchester is red. Salford is red. Manchester is blue. There's only one team in Manchester. Ryan says 2-0 City. Wow. Don't know about that.
Yeah.
Real Scott says 3-0 City win. Man United and Liverpool 0-0. A 0-0 with 4 red cards is the dream for that Man United Liverpool game. But it won't happen. I think I feel like Man United are more likely to win, just because even though Liverpool are at Anfield, and I know Anfield's a very hard place to go, Man United are going to want to break that record. And, you know, I think they're more equipped to break it than like a City or like an Everton or someone like that. So I think Man United might do it. obviously, like I say, long run, it might not be too bad for City if they do go and win it, but it just depends, because if we don't get our points and we don't pick up maximum points, then they would be clear of us by 6 points potentially. Obviously, we would have a game in hand, I think. But yeah, they would be 6 points. So we don't want that.
I think, you know, I feel like both teams can't afford to lose that match.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah.
That just be something like, do you know how we had United at Old Trafford and it was just a boring 0-0? I think it might be similar to that, to be fair.
Yeah. I think Liverpool can't afford to lose it more than Man United, because, like I say, Man United goes 6 points clear of them. I'm not saying Liverpool can't get back into it, because I think they will. I can't see Liverpool being in this form for the whole season. I think they will pick up again and they'll go back to their old selves a little bit more. But I think if you put Man United in a position like that early on, it's not in this sort of stage of the season where it's getting a little bit critical about who wins and who doesn't. I think it's not going to be good for Liverpool. So also, like I said, depending on the results around them, Liverpool could find themselves further down the league.
Yeah.
So I think they can't really afford to do that at this stage in the season. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I agree. I think both teams won't want to lose to the point where it might just be a bore draw. That works for us, obviously, but we'll have to see. Danish said, I'll be happy with a Kevin hat-trick and hat-trick assists, my fantasy captain. Do you know what? He's not been clinical this season going forward, like as good as he is. And this is why this Bruno versus Kevin De Bruyne debate just annoys me, because Bruno is having a fantastic year, I'd say, not even a season. He's having a fantastic year. I think De Bruyne had a very good year last season. So the start of this year, De Bruyne was at his best, scoring a lot of goals for us and stuff like that. But this season, I don't think he's been at his best. And, you know, he hasn't been clinical. Like some of the one-on-ones that De Bruyne is getting into, he just puts that in the back of the net last season. But this season, he's not really doing that. So I think it's one of them where I don't know what it is with him. Like there's shots that he has that you think there's no way he would have missed that last season. Like I don't know how you feel about him, Rose, but like for me, that's just what I get this season. Like there's no way he would have missed that last year. And this season, it's just, I know it's a whole team problem going forward, but I just think De Bruyne in particular, he's got the quality to just put these chances away in another season. Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree. I don't think he's been at his best this season, but then I don't think he's actually been as bad as people are saying.
No.
I mean, he's created quite a number of chances. It's just we're not getting on the end of his chances. Like if you watch the match against Brighton, he was exquisite. Like he created so many chances, but for some reason we cannot finish these chances. So it's making him look bad as well because we're not finishing the chances. So
yeah. This is what I say. This is why, like I say with the debate, like I don't think De Bruyne has been at his best, but he's still amazing. He's still one of the best players in the league when he's not at his best. So that tells me if he's not at his best, it's like Aguero. You can have Aguero who plays rubbish and scores 3 goals. Like I've seen Aguero have a crap game and score 3 goals because he's that clinical and he's that good that even when he's not playing well, he's still getting goals. He's still making a difference in the game. And it's just like, this is where these sort of GOAT conversations come in and like the best in the league or the best in the team and stuff like that. Because for me, it has to be consistent. And I'm not saying Bruno won't be because we don't know yet. But I don't know whether, I know some United fans get frustrated with him because they say he gives the ball away a lot. Some games he's pretty non-existent. In the bigger games, I know people say, yeah, he scored against PSG. Yes, he did. I think he got an assist or something like that. But it's one of them things where when you needed him to step up in that Leipzig game, he wasn't there. And this is the difference between him and De Bruyne, because we've seen De Bruyne step up. Like even against Lyon when we were going out, he scored that goal to put us back in it. And the next minute we missed an open net and then they kind of went and scored, and then it kind of went downhill from there. But he's scored us key goals to kind of keep us in competitions or send us through in the group or whatever it is. I know Man United away last season in the Carabao Cup, he scored, I think, or he had a fantastic game at Old Trafford. Can't remember whether he scored. I think he might have scored. And, you know, we ended up winning that round in the first leg, you know, and he was a reason for that. So I haven't seen it yet. I'm not saying Bruno isn't capable, because he's a great player, but I haven't seen it yet. And that's why, for me, I don't think it's close at this moment. But we'll see. I'm not trying to drag him. It's just people drag De Bruyne, and I've got to defend my City players. Danish says, I've got 2 City defenders for the clean sheet. Diaz has looked cold, made everyone at the back look class. I agree. Anyways, don't care about City's results as long as United win. But if we draw or lose to Liverpool, we need City to drop points too. That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen. I'm hoping City don't drop points. Because we'll know, when we kick off, we'll know the result from Man United and Liverpool. So it's up to the players to kind of to react to that, whatever way, you know. Ryan says, I'd either take one of Pogba or Martial at Liverpool. Don't know which one, though. Do you know what? It's interesting, because Flawless was saying last night that Martial at City would be great. But I never thought of Martial, because I don't watch him that much. I know United fans say he's a quality player, but I don't watch him enough to think, oh, I want him at City. But I don't know. Who knows? I think everyone improves under Pep.
Yeah.
So whoever we got from Man United, I think under Pep, they're going to be better than they are at Man United. So who knows? You never know until they join, do you? So it's one of them things. Ryan says, I hate De Bruyne. I captained him for fantasy football and he decided not to take the penalty. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Apparently he was tired. But I don't know. Do you know what I thought with that game, though?
What?
I don't know why Gundogan, being on the form that he is, didn't take that free kick. You know, the free kick that was in the box? Like, I just don't understand. I would have put Gundogan on that.
Is that the one at De Bruyne?
Yeah. The one with the goalkeeper, the pass back or whatever.
Yeah.
I would have put Gundogan on that. Just with the form that he's in, like I say, De Bruyne last season, him all day, he's going to put it away. But this season, he's not been putting them sort of chances away. I'm not saying, obviously, he's got a goal against Chelsea. But I think he's been better at assisting this season than he has at scoring. So I would have put Gundogan on that. Just the way it's going. Manny, big up to Manny, says, yes, girls, with fire. Ravi says, big up, do you think City are close to winning the Champions League soon? What do you think, Rose?
We are in... this is a tough one. We are in that we've improved defensively. And obviously you need a defence. Yeah. But it's like we've moved forward in one aspect, but we've moved backwards in another aspect. So I feel like City still need that balance for the Champions League. So unless we can obviously improve in terms of finishing, you know, and killing games off, because in the Champions League you can't afford to just not kill a game quite early. They'll come back and get you. They'll come back. So if we can improve in that aspect, then because we have a solid defence. But I feel like this season we're not ready. We still need like a clinical striker. Obviously, with Aguero not being fit as well, it's going to be quite difficult for us. Yeah. What do you think?
I think we'll win it when we least expect it, which is annoying because I think that won't happen soon. I think it'll be when City drop off a little bit. Maybe don't win the league for 3 years, and then we'll go win the Champions League or something like that. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we can get it won as soon as possible. I would like to be there as a fan. So depending on whether fans are allowed in or not, I don't know. I'm not saying I wouldn't take it this season because obviously I think we do need to win it.
Yeah, we do.
I would rather be there personally. So be a little bit be a little bit bittersweet if we did win it, because it's, yes, we've won it, fantastic, but I wasn't there to see it. So yeah, it's a bit selfish, but that's the way I see it. I would want to be there. Also, a lot of teams get to a final and lose before they win it. I just don't know with Pep whether that would be the case. I feel like Pep's always up for finals. He doesn't lose finals very often. So I think he would definitely be up for that. And I think I can't really see Pep losing a Champions League final. I can't see it. So if Pep is the manager when we win it, when we get to a final, sorry, I think we will win it. I also think once we win it once, I think we'll win it again.
Yeah.
Like not that long after. I think we'll win it like twice in 6 years or something. But we just need to get over that mental hurdle of the Champions League. Can we win it? Can we not? We need to get into that. So yeah, we'll have to see. I'd like to think we can. I think we've changed our game a little bit this season, which is a little bit more suited for Europe. We've seen, we're struggling to score in the Premier League, but in the Champions League, we're not having a problem. So I think we're set up a little bit more for the Champions League, which is credit to Pep, because I just think Pep is a genius. Like, he just changed things and everyone was like, no, it's not going to work. We're poor in the league. Like, we're never going to win the league. And then it's changed now and you're thinking, wow, he was right. And, I just think he's so clever. Obviously, that Lyon game, he took a risk. It backfired. I think if he takes that risk and we win, which we could have won, like the players that were on that pitch could have won that game and should have won that game. Like, we should have scored however many chances we had before Lyon got back into it. And I think if that's over 2 legs, I think we win it, personally. I think just it being a one-off game didn't suit City. And obviously we ended up going out and it was a shame. But I feel like if that was a 2-legger, we win that. Because I don't think Lyon go for it that much. I think Lyon just settle for a draw or whatever and take it into the second leg. And obviously it would be there for the taking. So, yeah, I think we were a little bit unlucky in terms of that last season. But I don't know. I think we're set up a little bit more to win it this season. We'll have to see who we get. Mönchengladbach are not an easy team. They beat Bayern the other day when they were 2-0 down. So even a 2-0 lead against them is going to be a bit shaky now just because of what happened to Bayern. They're not an easy... We've played them before, obviously. But, yeah, they're not an easy side. And then, obviously, it depends who we get. If we get Bayern Munich in the next round, we could be out. So it depends. It depends. I think that's one of them things that you win when you least expect it, just from my perspective. But then good teams have won it before. So we'll see. Lampard out, says Gundogan is on form. He has been great this season. Danish says favourites for the Champions League. Mine is PSG, City, Bayern, and Juve. I think Juve are due a win. PSG are going to want to win it because they've been going all out to win it. So we'll see. Bayern Munich, I don't think look as good this year, even though they're still a fantastic side. I don't think they look as good as they were last season, but who knows? I also don't see them retaining it. Something about it says that they won't retain it. So we'll see. But yeah, PSG are going to want to win it because they got to a final and lost. And I think Juve are due one. So we'll see what happens. I'd like to think City can win it. Brian says 2-1 United tomorrow. Hopefully not. Ravi says chicken tikka Mo Salah with the winner. Danish says, he's talking to Ryan. He said, you make me nervous for tomorrow's game. I still don't believe Ollie's got the balls to go attack Anfield. Yeah, I think he'll play it safe like he did against Pep.
Yeah,
I can see that being played safe. Futsaler 90 says Bruno Fernandes, Lucho, and Maguire all have 4 yellow cards. Could be an issue. Ooh.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so Dana said it's not really an issue because our next game is Fulham, but still we don't know when the next yellow will come. True, you might not get it against Man United. Ryan says Sterling is the worst penalty taker I've ever seen in my life. You know what I think it is with Sterling? I think that he lets pressure get to him. Because if you look at Sterling, the games that he doesn't do well in is always like Man United away, Man United at home, Liverpool away, Liverpool at home. It's these sorts of games where it's the big games where the pressure is there. And I don't know if he deals with pressure too well. And I think that's what it is. But saying that, he scored the penalty that won us the game. I think it was against Chelsea in a penalty shootout. Or it might have been Liverpool. Can't remember.
Yeah.
One sec. Ooh. Sorry. So yeah, I don't know. He's kind of scored when we really needed him to. So for that reason, you know, I can't really say he's the worst penalty taker ever, but he's not great. He shouldn't be our penalty taker. There was a comment the other day that said the person who scores, the person who earns the penalty should take it. And I said I agree with that because I think if you get taken out, you should take it. Obviously, with us, it might be Sterling taking it a lot, but I think I don't know. I think that's how it should be because if you've got a penalty taker in your team, like we used to have Balotelli, he doesn't miss. It's a goal. Every time it's a penalty, it's a goal. Like Man United at the moment, every time it's a penalty, it's a goal.
Yeah.
Whereas like City at the moment, like everyone sort of argues about who's going to take it, and then the person that takes it misses anyway, and it's just like it's a waste of time. They might as well not bother.
Wasn't it like I think De Bruyne was taking our last few penalties? I just don't. It doesn't for me. I don't get it. Just have a penalty taker, and if they're not playing, then maybe give it to the next best, who is Gundogan. I just still do not understand why Sterling took that penalty. Like I'm still baffled. It doesn't make sense. It's like we've gone backwards.
Yeah.
I'm professional as well. Like, just have one penalty taker.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we need to do. But I don't know what it is with City. I don't know. I know Pep said that De Bruyne was tired. I don't really buy into that. To take a penalty, you don't need that much energy. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on at City. I think Sterling obviously wanted to prove himself, but it backfired because he's just made himself look worse rather than looking better. So I don't know. If you're in here, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know the drill. Malcolm, big up to him, says, hey girls, big up. Ryan's hating on Salah again. He says Salah out all day, every day.
Hey, what? Doesn't Ryan support Liverpool?
He does. He just doesn't like Salah. It's too funny. You should if you haven't seen it already, guys, on my channel, Yan City ENT, I had Ryan on, and that there was slander everywhere on that channel. Like he was slandering Salah. Hazard was getting it from a Chelsea fan. I was like, crazy. It's crazy. He's talking about the penalty. Oh, 1 second. Waleed says, hello, girls. Hello to you. Ryan says, Pep's knowledge of football and football intelligence is a madness.
Yeah.
I know. I think he's weird because it's almost like he's underrated because he's so good. And I think he just doesn't get the credit that he deserves. And that's why I'm like Pep's biggest fan on this platform. Like, I don't take Pep slander. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a stupid fan who just backs the manager blindly. If Pep makes a mistake, like in the Lyon game, I will hold my hands up and say, yeah, Pep should have done better then. You know, there's games where he doesn't bring people on when I think they should come on and we don't win the game. And it's like, yeah, Pep's got to take a bit of the blame for that, you know. That derby, I think that derby game in particular, it was screaming out for Phil Foden. We needed passion. You know, we needed a Mancunian on the pitch to go and win the derby, and he didn't bring them on. So in situations like that, I will say Pep should have done better there. But in general, I can't really fault him for what he's done. Malcolm says, I want Pep to reach Champions League final, even though I'm a United fan. Be nice to see. I would like him to do it. I think City were overdue in terms of getting there. I think we've been a little bit unlucky. I know people don't like to hear it, but I think, you know, when you're going out on aggregate every year, we're not getting beat. Like, it's like 6-6. I think twice we went out 6-6. Tottenham and Monaco. So that's twice now. We've got an aggregate. We scored 6 goals and still gone out. And I know, obviously, defensively we weren't great. But I just think it's a little bit unlucky because, you know, if the games were the opposite way around, we go through. So it's a little bit unfair in that respect. But City haven't been good enough. And I don't think they were ready. I think Pep said for the first time last season that he thinks they're ready now. So, and then he seems to have changed it a bit. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens this season. Ryan says, Bayern Munich are struggling to control matches as well as last season. They seem to be missing a certain midfielder. My Spanish magician. Maybe it is Thiago. Maybe it isn't. Who knows? Malcolm says, Yannicka's at the wheel. I'd love that. Ravi says, Liverpool to win the game, gang business. Ryan says, Sterling doesn't look natural when he kicks a ball. He either doesn't get enough power or lifts it too much. I just think he, like you say, I think he overthinks everything. 89_young C says, Sterling lacks composure. To me, he misses too many one-on-ones. True. I just think he overthinks everything. Flawless, big up to him, says, make sure you lot hit the like button. Big up to the 2 queens. Big up to you too. Yeah, this is a point. Ryan says, Gundogan scored a penalty in a Champions League final. Surely he's the best option. If you can do it there, you can do it anywhere. And even the fact, like, this might sound a little bit racist or whatever you call it, but like, he's German. Give it the German, you know? They're known to be the best at penalties. Like, Danish says, hit the like if you breathe oxygen. Do that. Malcolm says, Bruno Fernandes with a late winner. Probably. You know what he's like. But then saying that, he hasn't really turned up in big games so far, so we'll see. That would be a game for him to turn up in if he ever wants to. S. Featley, big up to him. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. Hi, girls. Great podcast. Keep up the great work. Like and subscribe. Thank you. There's a few more comments and then we'll wrap it up. Ryan gives me a joke. He says, Gomez, Wijnaldum, Salah, Henderson and Firmino should make a 5-a-side team. Should be called Fraudessi. That's his favourite players, as you can tell. Danish said, would love a late penalty Bruno winner, but for the rest of 89 minutes, I've been nervous as hell. You know what? I think that referee is going to be nervous to give a penalty, you know?
Yeah. Because
if he gives a penalty and that team win, they're going to be on him. Yeah. I don't know whether there will be any penalty unless it's clear. I don't think there'll be any penalties because I think they'll be very cautious, especially after Klopp said that, you know, United get all the penalties and, you know, Liverpool have been linked with kind of VAR controversy as well. I just think the referee is going to be very careful about what he gives. So we'll see. United Daily, big up to his, says, like the vid, rapid. Malcolm says, as long as City don't face Leon in the quarterfinals, you lot are good. I think we beat him the second time round. I think we made a mistake with the lineup. I think the players were a bit confused. And I think it just backfired on Pep, unfortunately. United Daily says, Diaz is so good.
Very good.
I agree. He's better than I thought he would be. Can tell you that. Danish says, agreed, I think Diaz will be a huge difference. Before City need to score 4 or 5 to win games. Now City just need to score 1 to win because Diaz is too cold. Yeah, that guy will... Someone said the other day he'll die for a clean sheet. I agree.
He actually will.
Crazy. Sachin Deprasad says, wish we had signed Diaz instead of Maguire. Well, you know, I think if we sign Maguire, we don't get Diaz, so I'm happy with that. Apparently, Man United were linked to him. So I'm glad that we got him. United Daily says, German efficiency excluding Werner and Havertz. Malcolm, I agree with this one. Malcolm says, if you guys want to win the Champions League, Aguero has to get back to his best. Yeah. I would hate to be in the Champions League final. And I don't want to diss him because I actually really like him, but I would hate to have to rely on Gabby to score us the winner in the Champions League final. It's got to be Aguero. I don't care if he's injured. Put him on. He can score with his head. just, yeah, he's got to play. 89 Young C says Torres would be a good pen taker if he's on the field, even Phil. Yeah, you know what? I've not seen Phil take too many penalties. I think only in shootouts, and I think he did score. So be interesting to see. Torres is so clinical, but he's out with COVID at the moment, so I don't think he's back to his best. I'd like to see him tomorrow, actually. Ryan says, if we do win tomorrow, just see how unbearable I will be. Flawless says, excellent show. 1 second. Ryan says, I'm not into all this referee stuff. If we were playing like a proper team, we wouldn't need to make an excuse about the ref. We are literally excuse FC. I think that's more Klopp than the team.
Yeah, it's true.
And Malcolm quickly says, Bailly or Diaz all day. Yeah. Even though I do rate Bailly, I think he's your best defender, but it's got to be. Ryan says, anyone who makes John Lovren look good next to him is world class for sure. You know what? Less of the John Stones slander in it. He turns up in a derby and scores the goal in it, so can't diss him. This is a point actually. 89 Young C says Gabby shows up in big games. True, he scored against Real Madrid. I think it was.
Yeah, he did.
Flawless is hating. He also scored us the goal to get us 100 points, so he does turn up in big games. He does, but I think that's probably because he's Brazilian and they play on the highest level, so that's probably what it is. Ryan says Foden is just unreal, best young English talent. Wish we had a player like that. I'm so happy to have him. Flawless says, I understand you're not wanting to rely on Jesus. You know what? It is what it is. Yeah, Madrid away, the chip at Southampton to get 100 points. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's just, I just think the Champions League final for all of our players is going to be, Gundogan is going to be bussing a gut to get that, because he said how losing that final affected him. So he is going to be going, bending over backwards to win that game. I would love to see him playing that. I think all of our players, they've wanted to win it for so long. They're either going to go out there and smash it or they're going to crumble under the pressure. Yeah. I'd love to see it. Sachin, before we go, says Rooney or Aguero. I love Aguero.
Yeah, we've got to be biased. I love Rooney.
Yeah. Do you know what, though? I think both of them, what I can say is both of them turn up for Manchester derbies. And they are the top scorers in the Manchester derbies. So, yeah, got to big them up both. I'm not a massive fan of Rooney in terms of him as a person. But, yeah, it's got to be Aguero. But that's not discrediting Rooney because he's a fantastic player. Jesus, I don't know how you say it. Jesus, I think isn't that bad a player. He's not amazing, but he's a good squad player. Yeah, I think he's not Aguero, but he's decent. He's decent. And there's a lot of quality there. He just needs to kind of show it a little bit more. He's still quite young. So we'll see. But we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone that tuned in. If you haven't already, please like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 2K. Share across all your socials. And we will be back next week, hopefully, at 11:30. So we will see you then. Thank you. Bye.